All right, this is live from my office, and this is our brand new effort here. Oh, no, I'm almost blocking out the very important logo on my hat. You know, it is Survive 2025, and if you go to survive2025.us, you can get these handsome T-shirts and hats. I believe this is America's new slogan, Survive 2025. Let's not get too far in advance. Let's just survive right now. Get hats, get T-shirts, wear pants. I'm not selling pants. You'll have to get those on your own. Survive2025.us. My friend Paul Douglas is here. Hopefully by now you've heard his delightful appearance on Live from my office, the original podcast where we talked about the end of the world as we know it due to climate change. If we don't get off our asses and care enough to do something. Hi, buddy.
Hey, Steve-O.
Welcome back.
Good to be here.
There's a very simple concept, and it goes back to when we would have breakfast together or lunches, or you would be on my radio show, and we would just make each other laugh, where we didn't care that much about what people thought. We'd just talk about stuff.
It's obvious we don't care what people think.
I've made a career out of that.
Yeah.
It's called Anything But Politics, so there'll be no political discussions here, but there are topics in the news that people aren't paying a lot of attention to because so much of the oxygen gets eaten up by what did Trump do now. So we begin with a list of topics. You simply tell me which one you'd like to do first.
Okay.
Take a penny, keep your damn penny. Let's all learn about the weather. Celebrities who are jerks. Crap I'm trying to sell on Facebook. Who said you could push my tush? And degrees. That's actually the last one. The last one's just degrees. So any of those strike your fancy?
Celebrities who are jerks.
Celebrities who are jerks. This is a list of celebrities that surprise me. Now, you and I have met a lot of famous people through the years. My personal feeling, and I'd be curious if you agree or disagree with this, is the celebrity, the star, is rarely the problem. It's usually the surrounding people who are problematic. You agree with that?
The handlers. Yeah. They're trying to keep their celebrity on task and on time, and they can be pretty brusque, pretty rude. Yeah.
So according to, and this couldn't be wrong, according to the internet, according to a couple of Reddits, and according to a couple of Hollywood publications, I have a list of some of the rudest celebrities and some folks that aren't so rude. So I'll give you a celebrity. You tell me if they're believed to be rude or not. Ashton Kutcher.
No, I don't think so.
Rude.
Is he?
Rude to people. Yeah, doesn't like to be interrupted when he is talking, which is fine. Obviously doesn't want to be interrupted with his children. That's fine. But I heard he killed a guy.
What?
Just seeing if you were still with me.
You're making stuff up now.
Candace Cameron Bure. This was one of the Full House kids.
It's not ringing a bell. I'm showing my age.
Rude, dismissive, and God bless her. She's a believer, but she also believes that if you don't believe, she has the right to tell you you're wrong.
Hey, I don't judge lest I be judged. I'm a believer too, but...
yeah, same here. Christina Aguilera.
Oh, she can't possibly be rude.
Not only rude, mean, cited by 6 different sources as very rude and mean to anyone who would speak with her without a need to or being asked to.
Where did she hurt you? Can you show me? What?
All right, I'm going to give you a gimme here. This one's easy. Joy Behar from The View.
I'd say rude.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Yeah.
Here's one I refuse to believe. Sofia Vergara.
Oh, I hope she isn't rude. She comes off as a sweetheart.
There are some people who say she is rude. I don't buy it.
Everybody has bad days.
Yeah.
Everybody, right? I mean,
that's exactly right. Even celebrities.
They judge celebrities in a way that they would never judge themselves or their neighbors or their friends.
That's exactly right. Kevin Costner.
Costner? I'd say no.
A delight. An absolute delight. And especially to kids. He loves kids. Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood?
I would say he has every right to be rude.
I would agree with that, but he also is said to be very friendly, And a personal story of kind of Clint's sneaky sense of humor. When the Harry Potter gift shop opened up at Universal Studios, a friend of mine who had meetings there was in line buying souvenirs for his kids before he flew home. They also had a smoothie stand there as well. So the person running the Harry Potter gift shop might have to make you a smoothie. So this young UCLA co-ed was having trouble ringing up my friend and all his Harry Potter souvenirs. And he said he felt that trickle of sweat on his back because he knew there was a line behind him. And as he turned around to apologize, Clint Eastwood was standing behind him waiting for a smoothie. And looked at him and smiled and said, "Guess you like the Harry Potter, huh?"
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm glad he likes smoothies, I think
Right.
more of it now.
How about Tommy Lee from Motley Crue, famous for a video that he did with Pam Anderson, where every man that was subject to seeing it said, "That can't be right. That must be camera tricks."
Yeah, I did not see that video. I want to sleep well at night. He comes off as a bad boy. I don't know. I would say probably rude.
Delightful.
Really?
Delightful. Here's the story. My mom and dad were driving around L.A. We stopped to get some food, and there he was. I don't remember the whole meeting because I was a little kid, but Tommy played with me, hugged me, ruffled my hair, told me to be good, and make sure I listened to rock and roll.
Wow. Okay.
How about that? You can't judge every over-tatted heavy metal guy, can you?
No. All that rock and roll and all those drugs eventually, I think, catch up with you. But that's interesting. No, but again, be generous when you judge people. We all have bad days, right? And just these people are not, robots. And can you imagine when you have that much money, that much fame, the one thing you can't buy is your privacy.
Right.
And so I think some people are gracious. Most people are gracious. But how many, if 100 people came up to you in one day wanting a selfie, wanting an autograph, I mean, I think you might have some issues with that because that's happened to you in Chicago.
Over the course of 30 years, 100 people have come up to me and asked for a selfie. I've totaled all of them up. We just hit 100. Tony Danza and Joe Namath both called rude. Same thing as you just described. I'm sure they had bad days. Plus, Joe Namath's knees hurt.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon.
Susie, do you remember that? Do you remember that the NFL game where Susie Colbert was on the sideline?
Oh, yeah.
He was apparently
Drunk.
allegedly inebriated, and he went up to her and
Give me a kiss.
Susie, kiss me.
I got to say, your Joe Namath is really coming along.
It didn't sound quite like that, no.
Jimmy Fallon, of course, he's a delight. Newt Gingrich. This is not so much a story about being rude, but I love this story because Newt is, and this is not a political story. This is a comment about a human being. Newt Gingrich's ringtone is Dancing Queen by ABBA. I enjoy that immensely. Anne Hathaway. There's an undercurrent. There's this Hollywood hatred, too, to some extent, but there's this undercurrent on the internet of disliking Anne Hathaway. She's an incredibly talented actress. She's fall down beautiful.
Yeah.
I've interviewed her many times. She's delightful. All hands, but she's delightful. And I don't know why people are upset with Anne Hathaway. And apparently she's a delight. Some people in New York ended up in a Bikram yoga class with her and said she wouldn't stop talking, and they loved it.
Good. She strikes me as a good person.
And what about Tom Cruise, whose brand new Mission Impossible movie is out?
I hope. Look, the Scientology thing, we could talk for hours about that. But he strikes me as a good dude, and everything I've ever heard is that he is a good dude.
And phenomenal to fans. Phenomenal to fans. I don't know what he's like to work with because they still haven't made a movie with him. But a woman said they were shooting a movie at my university. I was starstruck, and as I walked, I tripped a bit and spilled my books. He stopped working, came over, collected the books for me, made sure I was okay, smiled, and I thanked him, complimented his work, and hoped he'd have a great time filming there. And he said, feel free to stop by and say hello tomorrow. I want to make sure you're okay.
Damn.
Now, we don't
That's
know how
cool.
cute she was, but, you know.
Well, yeah. Do you think cute people get more attention?
You know what? The science is in on that one. Yeah. The science is in, and it turns out, yes, in fact, they do.
Wow.
All right, here are your other topics. Degrees. Take a penny, keep your damn penny. Oh, degrees? You want to go to degrees?
Degrees. Hit me.
Degrees is an interesting topic because what did you graduate with? What was your degree in?
A BS in meteorology.
Oh, come
Bachelor
on.
of
That can't be
Science.
true.
Bachelor of Science in
A
Meteorology.
BS in meteorology. All right, I'm going to give you the degree. You tell me if it's a real degree or I made it up.
Okay.
Puppet arts,
That's real.
featured at the University of Connecticut.
Wow. That was my
Vending
second
machine
choice.
business management.
What kind of business management?
Vending machine business management.
That's real.
It's fake. I made it up.
Oh, shoot.
Costume technology.
I would think in Hollywood that would be a thing. So, yeah, that's real.
I would think so too. It's actually offered at DePaul University here in Chicago.
DePaul?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Science of canning meats.
No,
No, but if you go to Hormel, they'll show you how it's done.
I'm sure.
Bagpiping.
A degree in bagpiping?
Yeah.
No.
Carnegie Mellon offers a major in bagpiping.
Can you imagine being the roommate?
When he's learning in the
Fresh
beginning.
hell. Every morning you wake up. Please, God, take me now.
Playing with jugs. I'm sorry. I couldn't even get that one out. Of course, that's only offered in Mayberry. Theme
Parts of
park.
the South, I think that's a profession.
Though I think we can both agree playing with jugs is fun.
Yeah.
Theme park engineering.
That has to be real.
It is at California State University, Long Beach.
Nice.
Viking and medieval Norse studies.
Yeah, sure.
What do you mean, sure?
People need to learn about the Vikings.
The University of Oslo in Norway offers a major in Viking and medieval Norse studies.
Oh, I thought you meant Vikings, the team,
The Minnesota? No.
the beleaguered team in
Yeah.
Minnesota. Okay.
Auctioneering.
Auctioneering.
This is a college degree now. Can you get a college degree in auctioneering?
I'm just going to say yes.
You can at HACC, Central Pennsylvania's Community College.
Wow. Hey, that could be a good gig. I know some auctioneers who are doing okay.
They do well. They
Yeah.
do quite well.
They get a cut.
Example courses include audience communications, auctioneering law, procurement and appraisal of merchandise, preparations for the auction, and, of course, handling groupies.
Oh,
Metalsmithing, blacksmithing in particular,
yes. There's a need for that.
at Southern Illinois University.
Southern Illinois.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Juggling.
God, I hope not. No.
I'm sorry, I sold that short. Juggling arts. Juggling arts.
Juggling arts?
Or the juggling arts.
Like you're juggling paintings or sculptures or what?
Yeah, you go into the Louvre, they give you 3 paintings, and you toss them up in the air. No, the juggling
Well,
arts.
for that.
Yeah, the juggling arts. Is that a major?
Juggling arts. No.
It was until the Ringling Brothers Company had to essentially close down. They offered it as a college degree course.
Wow. Wow.
And let's see, one more because I think it really strikes close to home with you in particular.
No.
Casino dealing.
Yes, absolutely.
Wouldn't you think that'd be in Vegas? Would be the primary?
You
the
would think it would be Vegas, yeah.
The primary place for casino dealing degree, Anne Arundel Community College outside of Baltimore.
Baltimore?
Yeah.
Where gambling isn't even legal, or maybe it is on some of the reservations. I don't know. That's weird.
It's
That was a
quite weird.
segment. That's
All right,
weird.
so we still have take a penny, keep a damn penny. Weather terms.
Weather terms.
Weather terms. All right, this is more of a hope for education from you for us. So I'm going to give you the weather term, and then you tell me, in fact, what it is, if you don't mind. And what would be really great is if I didn't just lose it on my phone. We're going to find it again really quickly here.
That's okay. You can share any texts or notifications.
All right, so here we go. Thunderstorm terms in particular. What is a downburst?
Downburst is a rush of rain and hail cooled air, usually at the tail end of a thunderstorm, but it can produce winds in excess of 70, 80, even 100 miles an hour. They're fairly rare, but they can produce very strong straight line winds.
Is it different than a downdraft?
Yeah, every thunderstorm has a downdraft, but some are more violent, and that would be the downburst. That can cause damage, and this is what planes don't want to take off in or land in. When you have sudden shifts in wind direction or wind speed, that can affect the lift on an airplane wing, and it's bad enough. And by the way, most pilots want to see their kids, their grandkids. They don't fly through thunderstorms.
Sure.
And they usually wait for thunderstorms to move away from an airport before resuming takeoffs and landings. But every now and then, these downbursts they've been responsible for some horrific airline crashes over the years. Nothing recently, thank God.
Is it different than a wind shear, or does it cause wind shears?
It does cause wind shear. It is a trigger of sudden wind shear. Yes, wind shear. There are a lot of different definitions for it, but it's a sudden change in wind speed or wind direction. And again, if you're flying through that, it won't rip the wings off, but it can produce severe turbulence. Yeah.
I've never heard this term before, and as you know, I was the weatherman in Grumpy Old Men, and I feel like I should know it.
You nailed that.
A gust front.
Gust front, yeah. Out ahead of a thunderstorm, it's sort of a miniature cool front that can be as much as 5, 10, 15 miles ahead of the storm. So before you see any rain, any hail, any lightning, you get this surge of wind. Again, it's exhaust. Every thunderstorm has an updraft, warm air rising into the storm, and a downdraft. And when that downdraft, that rush of cool air from rain and hail reaches the ground, it can produce a gust front. And that's what triggered the dust storm in Chicago back on May 16th.
And that's how it all ties together, because gust front was also the 4th round draft pick of the Bears this year.
Gust front.
Yeah. We hear this all the time. Weather technology is such now that major city television stations all have a lot of tricks and toys and things, to catch our eyes. And then the local guy wants to impress you with his knowledge of what this and that is. And they always speak of a hook echo.
Yeah.
Is that a skyhook echo, like an Abdul-Jabbar sort of thing? Or what is a hook echo?
No. It's tornadic storms rotate. They're called mesocyclones or supercells, and they rotate. And on regular radar, they look a little bit like the number 6, kind of dangling off the main thunderhead. So if you see that configuration, that's often called a hook echo. And now with Doppler, we can go in and take it beyond that and actually see which way the winds are blowing. Are they blowing toward or away from the radar site? And we can derive, the air has to be rotating in this certain area. It's called a couplet. We can't, in most cases, see the individual tornado. It's too small. But we can see the parent thunderhead spinning. And if that spin is strong enough, the Weather Service will issue a warning. Even if there's no confirmation of a tornado, they want to err on the side of safety.
And one more from this list. By the way, you've scored perfectly so far. You're right on all of these. Mammatus, M-A-double-M. What is it?
Booby clouds?
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mama clouds. How do you pronounce it? Mammatus?
Mamma.
Mammatus.
Mammatus. Cumulonimbus mammatus. Those are the ice cream scoops on the underside of a thunderstorm anvil that have kind of an erotic shape.
They look
not
like
actually
boobies.
called booby clouds.
But they look like hanging boobies.
They kind of do.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that men are pigs. Yeah.
That must have been fun in school when you were back at Penn State when you learned about those that day. I bet you guys had a lot of laughs.
We, yeah, brings back memories. Yeah, memories.
All right, I got two more for you. You tell me which one you want first. The tush push or take a penny, keep your penny.
Take a penny.
It was announced just today, we're recording this on May 22nd, that the United States Treasury will stop producing pennies. It's official. It's over.
Yeah.
You're troubled by it at all? You and I grew up with, I got to tell you something. When you and I were kids, a penny, a lot of people don't know this, a penny could buy a brand new Lincoln Town car.
I don't remember that experience. I just remember them being a pain. I don't know. I
don't know
guess
what you do with
would not-
pennies anymore. No, yeah, listen, they're useless, right? Nothing costs a penny. However, hasn't Lincoln been through enough? And now we're going to get rid of it? Come on.
I know it's an insult to Abraham, but still, it's like who needs? I got these jars full of change, and now have you noticed that it's not easy to go into a store now? I think Walmart used to do it. Some drugstores where you could take all your pennies and nickels and dimes and dump them in a thingy and get actual money. But
yeah, and they take a hit. There's machines. Some are the ones they use in the bank.
Yeah.
And the bank loves it. Boy, the bank tellers love nothing more than you coming in with a bag full of pennies. But in the grocery store in various places, you could dump your coins in. Yeah. And then for a small fee of, say, 70% of the take, you'll get cash back from that for the change that you've been collecting. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. What a business model.
So take a penny, keep your damn penny. And finally, stop pushing my tush. The NFL has voted, and they are keeping the tush push as a play. Now, for years in local television, nobody was ever better than you. And I mean this, nobody, including my friend Tom Skilling. Nobody was ever better than you in presenting the weather in a factual, scientific way and making it funny and entertaining. You're the best I've ever seen.
Well, that's very sweet of you. Thank you, Steve.
But I also know, and I'm going to blow the lid off this story, I also know from spending a fair amount of time on TV when I had hair, that TV newsrooms have a fair amount of downtime, where TV anchors, the people you know best, whether they're weather, sports, or main anchors, spend a lot of time, this is a technical term here, dicking around.
Yeah.
So did you ever feel like, and this could have been an HR issue, that your tush was pushed when you didn't ask for it in the newsroom? Did that ever happen?
I was never, no. I don't remember.
You were never involved in a tush pushing incident?
Nobody ever touched my tush, ever. And that's kind of sad. But I do remember at one of the TV stations in the Twin Cities, the sports guy could not stop farting. The main sports guy, he would come into my office, he would back in butt first, tush first, just unload. It was horrible. It was like toxic nerve gas.
You had every right to kill him. No court in the land would have stopped you.
I had a bottle of Glade, Country Fresh Glade, and I remember chasing him around the station, and his butt was completely soaked with this Country Fresh Glade, and even that didn't stop him.
I have to say that is probably frowned upon in 2025.
We got away with stuff in the 80s that you cannot do now.
The 80s and 90s, where people chased each other with Glade and in a perfectly, honestly, a rational response to being farted upon.
Well, you have a right to defend yourself.
The tush push remains. My friend Paul Douglas, thank you for joining us for Anything But Politics and on our last episode of Live from My Office as well. You're a valuable voice at all times when it comes to science, the discussion of the same. And you're also a valuable voice when we're talking about squirting another man in the butt with Glade air freshener.
Never take yourself too seriously. And that's why I love you, Steve.
You're the best, buddy. You're the
You
best.
got the facts and you do it with a laugh. So thanks for having me on, and stay out of jail. Stay out of prison for a little while, okay?
Believe me, if I go in, first call is to you. You may want to change the number.
I'm going to put my spam filter on for your number.
Thanks for all the time, buddy. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. Take care, Steve.